Hi, my name is Gudrun from GE Designs, and I'm here at Fat Quarter Shop, and I want to give you a little bit of an insight into my Friday Fiesta Place Mat pattern, which is a quilt-as-you-go pattern. So what you need for this pattern is a main print that is gonna kind of carry the placemat. For this one, I chose this really cool vintage button print. And then you're gonna need a charm pack. So some charm squares with contrasting colors. And this is from the same line, so very kind of vintage looking, fun prints. Here's another version of the placemat, a little bit more modern, which using an Allison glass charms and then a newsprint. So you can use any kind of newsprint. This could be a really cool large scale print. Just make sure that your charm squares are gonna contrast your main print. So this one is done with a prairie points that are sewn in, and many people have asked me, how do you do this with quilt-as-you-go? So I'm going to give you a demonstration on how we do it. Before we start anything, we want to start by layering our backing and batting. So I chose this really fun backing fabric. It's from the same fabric line, and it's actually recipes. They are clear enough to even try them out. So I think that's fun. So you just have these in your kitchen, you flip them over and you make something from the back. How fun is that? So I have gone ahead and pressed that to my batting. I'm using a Bosal light fusible batting. So it has fusible on just one side. So all you have to do is lay your backing on top and give it a good press with a steam. That's really helpful. And then your quilt sandwich is ready to go. Make sure you put thread in your bobbin that matches your backing fabric, and you are good to go with your backing sandwich. From your charm packs, you're going to be cutting rectangles and then these skinny rectangle strips. So before you start sewing onto the backing and batting, we're just going to piece 3 of these together into these little border units so they are ready to go just like this before we even work on the backing and batting. So let me show you how these prairie points work. So as I start sewing, I place my first piece of the background fabric, and then I have a folded piece from the charm pack. So this is a rectangle that I folded, and I'm making sure that the fold is actually here. I placed it on top, so we're gonna look down here. I actually placed it on top of the background piece here, and then I placed another rectangle of the background on top of that, so it's layered in between. And then I sewed this in place, and then I flip this way. So that way I have all these little flaps that are going to become my prairie points. So how does that work? So what we're going to do here is just going to pull on these 2 corners like this, and since it's already folded, as we open them up, we can match this fold up with the seam and then just give this a good press. I'm just going to finger press since we don't have an iron. But this is how they get created. So we're going to fold these out and press, and we create little prairie points along the way. So now we have all our prairie points pressed, and all we're going to do is I actually like to, it really doesn't matter, but I like them all to be kind of layered the same way. So from right to left, they're kind of on top of each other like this. And now it's time to secure them in place. So we're going to take rectangles of the background, so the skinny rectangle from the background. I'm going to place that just right on top, pin that in place, and then you stitch down, securing all those layers inside the seam. So that is going to end up locking in those sewn in prairie points. From there, we're going to add the pieced strips, which are oversized. So they are longer than these rectangles here and the markings that we drew on the batting, but don't worry about it. We're just going to let them extend. Place them on top on each side here. And then you sew down, and then you press that out. So kind of like a stitch and flip. We're going to keep going. The next step is a little bit thicker rectangle here on the end that's going to fill in this last space. So we flip this on top of here, we sew, and then finish all the way to the end here. And then the last one is our big rectangle that we cut from the background fabric. We place that on top, and even though this is longer, what you want to do as you flip this over, because you drew those guidelines, is just match that triangle with the lines here that you drew on the batting, and then you're positioned perfectly. So just pin that down and sew along here. Don't worry about these being longer because we're going to trim it off in the end. So then you press this whole big piece out, and that's pretty much all the piecing you need to do. Now, because this is a really large area, you will need to put some kind of extra quilting in here, and that's where you can get creative. So you can just be simple and do straight lines like I did here. Very easy to do, just using your walking foot. Or if you want to do something a little bit more fun, I did diagonal lines here. Now, of course, if you're expert with your free motion foot, you can do some free motion fun stuff in here. Just use your imagination, have fun with it. This one was convenient for me because I didn't have to mark anything. I just kind of used the buttons as my guide that was printed on the pattern already. Always trying to make little shortcuts. So there it is. After you've done that little bit of quilting, all you do is trim your backing and your batting to the same size as the front, and that finishes off your runner. It's ready for binding. And that's how easy these Quilt-as-you-go projects are. See how fast that goes? You can get a project started and on your table in just a few hours with these Quilt-as-you-go fast projects. You can find more projects on fatquartershop.com. I have a lot of patterns on Quilt-as-you-go there, and also on my website, gequiltdesigns.com. If you want to learn more about the Quilt-as-you-go method, check out some of the videos I have both on Fat Quarter Shop and my own YouTube channel, GE Designs. And I even do have a monthly club with a Quilt-as-you-go project and a video to take you through all the steps. It's called Fast and Furious Club, and you'll find that on my website, gequiltdesigns.com. Thank you for watching.